volunteer. It's a lot more fun.
Yeah, and you certainly empower those that have a reading with you, and that's the key. It's you're giving them a roadmap and stating to them, as you said, these are your options. Pick and choose, and it just makes so much sense.
Yeah. It does. And, sometimes someone will come to me just once. That's all they need. I know that you have probably been asked, how often should you get a reading?
Yep.
And there is no cut and dried answer. If you have a reading with me, and then a month later you come in and you say, I did everything that we talked about. My life has really changed in wonderful ways. Can we sit down again? I'd be fine with that. But if you come back to me once a year for 3 years, and it's always the same questions, and I always tell you the same thing, and you're obviously not doing it, listening to it, by year 3, I'll be like a good bartender and cut you off.
Yeah.
You're wasting your money and my time. So,
yeah, exactly. And you don't want to attract the needy ones that are calling you every other week.
Oh, no, you absolutely don't.
No.
And, because I get that question, how often should I call? And I always tell people, you know what, once a year is fine, unless something significant comes up that you need some guidance on, then you call. But, we don't want people dependent on us. Yes, it's nice to have that income and take your money, but it's not ethical.
Not at all.
Not at all.
Not at all.
And that's why I think that I resonated with you so well, is that we were always on that same page.
Mm-hmm.
I have a wonderful friend who's a great reader up in Canada. Her name is Dyer. And,
I know Debbie.
Sometimes, like me, she's full goose bozo, busy, busy, busy. But there have been some fairs where she just sits there and maybe has 4 readings all day, but her attitude is brilliant. She just looks at me and says, my people aren't here.
Yeah, that sounds like Debbie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's a great attitude to have.
We can't read everybody. Not everybody wants what we have, our bedside manner, whatever. So that's why. That's one of the reasons why, if you're not resonating with a psychic, don't feel bad, and don't feel like you're dissing the psychic. She's just or he's just not your person. That's
right.
all.
Exactly.
And you wait until you find someone that you resonate with. Don't just jump on board because they said they're a psychic. There has to be that strong energy connection, doesn't there?
There has to be the energy connection, and you have to do a little due diligence. If you're walking in to a psychic fair, you go around, you collect the brochures we have, you talk to us, you read our testimonial books, and you check in, at heart level. If the psychic doesn't feel like they have a brain in their head, they really care about what they're doing, or they're going to give you good information, don't go there, no matter how cool all the wiki-woo stuff looks on the table.
Right, exactly. I went to a psychic fair one time, and this is a bunch of years ago, and there was a bunch of girls, all my girlfriends went, and we actually we picked out one of the tarot readers, and we all signed up, and we all went into her tent, and at our appropriate time, and I sat down with her for about 5 or 6 minutes. She just looked at me and she says, I am not picking up one thing. She said,
really?
Yeah. And, and this is a psychic fair where, they're scrambling to get anybody they can. But what I thought was cool is she said, I am not picking up one thing on you, but I am going to turn you over to so-and-so, or her name happened to be Marlene. And she says, I am going to have you sit here for a second. I'm going to go talk to Marlene, and I'm going to pass you over to Marlene. And I sat down with Marlene, and she picked everything up, and she was absolutely dead on. Mm-hmm. It happened, and I appreciated that she said that the first one actually, I can't remember her name now, that she actually said, I am not picking anything up, but I know who will.
Nice. So, Corby, you have your schedule listed on your website, and her website is firethroughspirit.com. Be sure
That's
to.
That's right, and through spelled the way we were taught in 3rd grade.
Exactly. THROUGH, folks. Not THRU. Yeah, and so be sure to check out her website for her upcoming events. Corby, you're all over New York and Pennsylvania, especially doing a lot of psychic fairs. What's the next one that you've got coming up in New York? Because we have a lot of New York listeners.
Well, the next one is actually this weekend, and that is the Evolving Essence Fair. This is done by Suzanne Lind and her sister Tammy, and it's out in Depew at the Hearthstone. It's a really, really nice venue. And so we'll be there on Saturday and Sunday. And after that, I do go down to Reading, PA for the Radiant Light Expo. The most exciting thing that I'm doing this year, I'm doing a show out in Ohio at the end of April. And then the next weekend, I have been chosen to go take a master class on mediumship with John Holland. And I am, you know, I this is good. So I'm like, you know, jelly in the belly. I'm just really nervous about it. But it's the one thing, you know, when I do mediumship, I tend to ask for the dog tags because that gets me right in. But just getting up there and standing in front of 400 people and going, I see a guy with plaid pants and he's holding an umbrella with a hole in it, and somebody goes, that's Uncle Roger. I would love to be able to do that. But that's not my talent. I'm hoping that in this master class, I will be able to unlock that one last door of the stuff that I want to do, because he is truly unbelievable.
Wow. Now, somebody's asking, where is Depew?
Depew is a suburb of Buffalo. It's right next to Cheektowaga. It is maybe a mile and a half from the Buffalo International Airport.
Gotcha. And when are you going to be doing anything close to the Syracuse area?
I just did last weekend, guys. Jeez.
Oh, wow.
That was the traditional, you know, Marianne and Roy Dunn Memorial Show.
Right.
I am going to be doing something in Adams Center, New York. I think that's a little closer to Watertown.
Yeah, it is. It's right in between Watertown and Pulaski.
Okay. But that's going to be in mid-April. They have a wonderful Kripalu Yoga and Wellness Center, and they're sponsoring me up there. I'm going to be doing a couple of my workshops, Visualize, Vocalize, Violetize, which is on the violet flame, and The Weaving of Your Lives, which is about the work I did with Robert Schwartz and past lives. And I will be doing readings on Sunday. So if you're anywhere in that area, just, you know, hit up the website. All the information is right there. I will probably find a reason to go back to Syracuse sometime in the summer. I would like to do some workshops and a day of private readings there. So if anybody's interested, all they have to do is drop me a note, and we'll make it happen.
Well, when you see Tammy and Suzanne, please give them a hug for me. I think of them so much.
You bet. I will be happy to do that.
Yeah, we used to do the fairs with them and just had a wonderful time, and they always did us good. You know, we've worked with some promoters that didn't really do their job, you know, but then every time we've worked with even Marianne, you know, Marianne Dunn, and with Suzanne and Tammy, they've always been very big and successful shows.
They have, and here's how I pinpoint a professional promoter. People like Suzanne and Tammy, Marianne Dunn and her daughter Anna Rossman, Stan Mallow and Ray Fauché in Canada, Bill Trivett and Bob Hall down in York, Pennsylvania. None of them buy into drama. They treat their people like family, but they expect a certain level of professionalism, courtesy, and respect, not only for the clients that they read, but for each other.
Yes.
And
very nice.
They don't stuff the shows so that there are so many psychics, nobody can make enough money to pay for the booth. And they really do their very best for the people who are walking in the door. And, you know, they may know nothing about psychic work, or they may, you know, be able to go toe-to-toe with us. But the entire atmosphere is welcoming to all of them. If you feel something like that, you know you're in a show with professional promoters.
You bet you. You bet you. You know, and it's really important. You know, you and I, we've done a lot of psychic fairs together, and it's so important to, you know, have respect for one another as psychics in that whomever people are drawn to is who they're drawn to, and they're there for a reason. And there shouldn't be any jealousy amongst spiritual people like that.
Mm-mm. There is enough to go around.
Absolutely.
And to be honest, if a psychic looks desperate, why would someone feel like they need to go to them?
Yeah.
They want to go to somebody who looks confident and easy and who genuinely wants to read them for their empowerment, not money in the psychic market.
You know, and Belle and I have talked about this behind the scenes too, that if you run into a psychic or a medium or anybody who does readings and they are constantly telling you how good they are, you may want to look somewhere else.
Yes.
I mean, it's one thing to be confident in what you offer. This is what I offer.
Right.
But it's another thing to say, I'm 99% accurate. I'm 100% accurate. Not happening, guys.
Not happening. And I know people who have done that, and people who have come to me and actually keep score. And they go, okay, this week I did this many readings, and out of this many readings, say I did 10 readings this week, and out of the 10, I was spot on with all 10. Well, that's wonderful, but I tend to not believe that person then.
Yeah, what does that do for me?
Right, exactly.
Yeah. What I basically say is, as far as that goes, even the best of us are about 85% accurate on any given day.
We're going to have
100%
off days.
accurate is God.
Yeah, we're going to have off days just like any of you do. We have good days at work and we have bad days at work.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. And, I remember the first time I did the Buffalo show, I was blown away because, there were a lot of psychics in the room, that were brought in. And I don't remember who put that show together, but I was busy from the moment they opened the doors till far after everybody else had left. I had people waiting 6 hours to have a reading with me. And I'm like, are you people kidding me? I wouldn't wait 6 hours for a reading with me. You know what I mean? My time is valuable. And I kept trying to push people off on other psychics that weren't busy, just to give myself a reprieve. But it was amazing, just totally amazing. And I was exhausted, happily financially exhausted. But, I didn't even get a chance to eat lunch. And then I think when I finally left, it was like 9 o'clock that evening, and by that time I'm famished and ate everything in the restaurant. But it was fun. I loved it, but I was just amazed that there was people waiting 6 hours. And Corby, I've seen that with you. And that was the point of my story, is I've seen people, you have a sign-up sheet. When they come in, you ask them to sign up, and then they sit or they'll browse around and check back. But within the first few moments of the show, you're booked up, even sometimes before the show.
It is one of the reasons that I encourage people to go and, if you can, sign up for my newsletter. You go to the first page of firethroughspirit.com, and it's right there. When you get that, you're going to know 2 weeks before anybody else, am I going to be at the show? And then you call me, you send an email, Corby, you're going to be there for 3 days. Can I see you Saturday at 3 o'clock? And it's held for you. You can waltz in, have your reading, and then relax and do whatever else you want to do. And that saves you from the crazies. It's like if you know that you're going to a 5-star restaurant, what do? You make a reservation early, and you're there on time.
Absolutely.
Same thing for psychic.
Yeah, absolutely. And so the important thing is you get to sign up ahead of time for a reading with Corby when she's in these particular fairs. And that's a great idea, Corby. I wished I had thought of that, because I was exhausted. And as I said, I kept trying to push people off on somebody who wasn't busy because I wanted to share the wealth, so to speak.
Yeah.
But I'm going to, shake a finger at you. Did you remember to schedule in breaks on your sign-up sheet?
No, he didn't. My husband didn't do that, and I needed to. I remember I needed to get up to go to potty, and I felt guilty, and I'm like, guys, I'm sorry, but I've got to pee, and I took off and grabbed a quick cigarette, and but I that night I told hubby, please don't do that to me again. You know? But he just didn't think about it. He knew that there were a large number of psychics there. A lot of them from the Lilydale area up in Buffalo, and there were a large number of psychics. And that was my first time there, so I didn't think that I was